And we'll be back in the high life again. One day, I swear. So I worked a 9.5 hour shift today. Got my key to the building. Uh, Found out the boss lady has been speaking favorably of me to the customers. Customers seem to be liking me. Oh, one of them who is a road construction worker. He does vehicle maintenance on the fleet on the road. Gave me some advice. I did an ECM reset without having to get the reader. Excuse me. Truck runs a hell of a lot better again. Still getting the P0300 and the knock sensor, but it really only goes off when I'm on gravel hitting bumps. Took the truck out to the nearest pavement, open it up all the way, get it up to highway speed basically, slow down and turn around, open her back up on the way back to the gravel. Did not receive a single malfunction indicator light the entire time, so that's good. I may still have to replace the knock sensors. I was hoping not to because I wanted to be able to have my buddy return those and get some money back. But I kind of feel like if I replace that, then I can ascertain whether or not that is what is part of the reading. The other thing, a couple of things that gentleman today said was that if this didn't do the trick to check the fuel filter and also inspect individually the wires running to the fuel injectors on the bank that is having the lean issues, it's possible that there's a broken wire that happens. It turns out he's got basically the same truck with basically the same engine. But yeah, so basically what I did was I put the key in the ignition, put it to the run position, but did not turn on the motor, did not start it. I just put it on run. Took a lawnscaping brick and pressed the pedal all the way down, set a timer for 10 minutes, and came back. After 10 minutes, I removed it from the pedal, shut everything off, set another timer for 5, let it just sit for 5 minutes, and then turned it on and ran it. At that point, I revved it a bit, got the flashy light to come on one time in the driveway at about 3,000 RPM, and then after that, not much. I took it out for a spin, let the computer kind of reread now that it had good sensors, and after that, it was a lot better than it has been, even drastically better than it was after I first changed the sensor but couldn't do anything else. So, yeah, I'm on my way to having a functional vehicle, assuming I haven't caused any kind of damage to the internal moving components or anything. Doesn't seem to be the case right now. And if it does end up being like a cylinder 7 or 8 worn piston rings, low compression issue or anything like that, I believe I've got someone who may have access to the ability to pull an engine, and I'll just have to start really doing my homework on that and save my money up to get master kit and replace all of the bearings and piston rings, etc. Hopefully that's not going to be necessary because there are other costs that come along with it. You have to take, I think, the heads and such off, which means you got to get head gaskets. Who knows what other incidental costs if that's the case. But the fact is, it is still a 240,000 mile motor. It has limited life left on it before that point, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do after that. Also, a guy I used to work with at the cab company in the garage popped in. He was getting like gas and a beverage or something or whatever. I can't remember what he got, but I think he just was driving down Old 34 and saw me and was like, "Oh, stop in." He's gone into business buying and selling used cars, which means I've still got his number in my phone, and I may be able to get a hold of him about getting a decent running, fairly low-cost used vehicle of some sort that'll at least get me some back and forth to work while I save money on gas consumption and, see about getting this truck fixed up because I am still going to need four-wheel drive, and the ability to haul stuff is kind of essential, even though the bed's getting pretty tore up, and I'm probably going to have to end up taking the bed off at some point, scrap that, and build a wooden flatbed or something. That depends on if lumber's still like fucking $10 a 2x4 or whatever at the time. So yeah, As far as I know, I don't work tomorrow. The plan is I've got some tack strips to remove around the edge of the bedroom, get the Sawzall or whatever you want to call it, the reciprocator out, and the metal blade, and cut some of those tack strip nails out of the floor, and clean up around the edges where there's some carpenter ant ingress or whatever. There's the ant dirt coming in, but it's from a place at the Cove Gap, so possibly they didn't actually tunnel through concrete, which would be better. Ultimately, the plan will be to get the floor prepped and cleaned so that I can lay down some watertight oil-based seal paint. I'll have a bright white floor until it starts getting dirty. But this will help with the seepage in the concrete as well. Every time it gets humid, the concrete looks obviously wet or damp, and I want to try and control that. Overall, pretty good day. I'm kind of working on, at this point, I got ideas floating in my head for Tuesday's video. Not going to say what it is because you'll see it when you see it. Nothing crazy or anything, but it's a significant date in my life now. I don't know what to call it yet, but it potentially outshines the Frabjous Day, which was November 3rd and 4th. That 48-hour period constitutes the time in 2009 that I attempted my own life and was fully unconscious for about 14 hours. A lot of changes occurred since then. Yeah, Tuesday's a fairly significant day as well. And there'll be, I'll let you know when you see it, but I'm tossing some ideas around in my head as to how I'm going to present it. What I'm basically going to do is have a video that I create on the day that will refer to and link to a video from the same day 2 years ago. And my goal is, somber though I may be at the time, to remind my viewers, of course, of how I've kind of come out of my shell in the last couple of years. You've seen me do some videos with some smiles and some jokes and happiness, and of course, the serious and the zero cool stuff too. But compared to what you're going to see in the video that I link to, currently private, I'm going to set it to unlisted, and I'm going to link to it in the description when I do that. But you'll see, it's going to be interesting. So I'm just trying to hype that up a little bit. Anyways, yeah, today was a pretty good day. I'm tired, I'm sore, but I feel good. I kicked ass on getting everything ready to go and cleaned and done before the end of shift, so that when it came time for one of the more experienced clerks to come in and oversee, everything was ready to go. By 10:30, store closes at 10. At 9:59, I shut the lights off and locked the door. 10:30, we were done. I'm clocked out and on the road back home. So, yeah. Definitely going to be able to get my bills under control and jumping on any hours that they hand me. I was asked yesterday when I came in to get my paycheck if I could work today. Little piece of advice. The first thing you say is yes. The second thing you say is what time. Don't do it in the other. Oh, what time? Yeah, I can do it. No. Can you work? Yes. What time? So anyways, going to cut it short there. There's a ton of stuff to do with Arizona because it is very near the end of the thing. I guess on that I'll just say the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors did 2 hand recounts, or they did a machine recount and a hand recount, something like shortly after, when people started saying, hey, wait a minute. And both times they came up with the same number of total votes. And now that the forensic audit has finished counting every single ballot, the numbers that they confirmed in their 2 previous recounts are a fair bit higher than the actual number of ballots. And they still have till the end of June that they're going to be going through forensically analyzing every single piece of paper for things like mail-in ballots not being folded, and laser printers, or, as it turns out, offset. And what that means is that it's like a dollar bill. You've got the straight line, and it scans and it reads. And if it's like this, or if it's like this, it can't, and it spits it out. And they found a bunch. And of this bunch, they overwhelmingly went to areas where most registered voters registered for the side that lost. Apparently, now Missouri, Wisconsin, Michigan have also sent delegations down to take a look at the audit and see what's going on. They are wising up to the fact that it is a legitimate operation. The news is lying, and they wanted to go see for themselves, and they're coming back saying, okay, so that's how you do that. So my hat is off. I'm raising it up to Maricopa County for getting it done. Not the Board of Election Supervisors. Those pieces of shit can go drown for all I care. But the Arizona State Senate seems to have a backbone. And when the United States Attorney General started talking about trying to take control, dominate, he used words like voter suppression, but he wouldn't use words like voter fraud or election fraud. The state senators said, buddy, if you come and mess with our state-ordained, constitutionally guaranteed process, you, sir, will be in violation of the law. If you want to come mess with our process, then you're going to sit in an Arizona jail. Badass. That is how you do it. When corrupt people in the federal government say, hey, okay, we're going to take over, and you say, no, you're not. Get. I'll see y'all tomorrow or Tuesday, whichever happens first.